think I'm going to stretch the paper a little bit. It has buckled because I used a heat tool that always tends to buckle paper more than if you let it dry naturally, but it depends how impatient you are and how quickly you want to get to the result. So I've been playing with this idea of giving her like an orangey pastel cheek and to tie that to sort of this color scheme, because she's got now this hair color which would look very beautiful with if we continued with this kind of color group. So I've got Aussie Red Gold, transparent red oxide. In fact, transparent red oxide I use plenty of in this hair, and you can see it's just the most beautiful kind of orangey granulating color. It's stunning. Then we have gold brown, we have burnt sienna, deep quinacridone gold. So yeah, between quinacridone gold and deep gold and Aussie red gold is what I'm thinking, those two colors. So I'm going to switch to a smaller brush now and see if I'm ready. So to begin with, let's just put a bit of water onto the middle, so I still have this area here to mix, and I'm going to find out where my oh yeah, quinacridone sienna, that's a beautiful color. It's probably a little bit too red. Well, let's try. We'll try a little bit. Oh no, that's the wrong one. So it's on the right of vermilion. So this color here. I'm just going to mix it up. So to make it more neutral, I had a little bit of Sedona in here. So I think I'm just going to build things up. Maybe even add a bit of that transparent oxide, which would be this color here, wouldn't it? No, it's this one. Yeah, so this is transparent oxide. So just, yeah, so this is perfect now. Plenty of water because we want the color to move. So I'm going to go ahead and just create this bit of redness around her eye. And you can see things are not really moving because there is nothing wet in there. So I'll show you a little trick that you can do. So firstly I'm just layering the color, and then I'm just wetting my brush and going over the edges like so, and that gets the color to move, and then while it's wet you build up again on top like so. There we go. Okay, also fancy the Aussie Red Gold, which would be the one next to quinacridone sienna, and I think I'm going to start maybe adding a bit of it in the skin areas. I'm also going to mix in a bit of the transparent red oxide just to darken things. So here I'm starting now to create a bit more shadowing, a bit more kind of building on the skin. And maybe just to deepen things a little, I can add a touch of Van Dyke Brown. That's beautiful. And I'm just going to remember the light source is usually on one side of the face, so pick one side, and the other side you want it to make darker. I'm just going to build it up on here as well, a little bit under the nose, and then before things dry out completely, just soften the line like so. Okay, so that's that. And now I can think of, what can I think of? I can think of a lip color, and I think my lip color should be, thinking either this orange or a red, because otherwise it's all everything becomes too orange. So I'll go for the orangey red, so vermilion. So vermilion is right here. And this brush is fantastic for lip, because it's like, you know, the lip brushes that we use for makeup. It's got that same shape of a lip brush. So I'm just going to delicately paint this beautiful, bright, fiery red color. And somehow try to also leave a little highlight like that on the top and the bottom lip. For her cheek, I will try to mix something up. I'm going to add the same vermilion into this mix that I already had here, and that creates a beautiful color actually. So I'm just going to add it again into the lip like that. And I will take some of the white now and see what sort of cheek color I can achieve with this. Yeah, that works pretty. So there we go. And I want some more depth around the eye, so I'm thinking of adding maybe Mars Brown. Yeah, I'm gonna go for Mars Brown, which is this one here. And that Mars Brown is sitting, let's see, so we've got that, we've got three of those, and this is Mars Brown. Okay. Just going to add a touch of it just here. Like so. And now, actually using this bigger brush, just going to blend out the edges. If it starts picking up the color, just wash your brush a bit, because you want that watercolor effect. Mars Brown granulates beautifully, so hopefully we'll see a bit of that lovely granulation. Okay, so that's that. That's how I build up the skin. I could also actually, looking at this, I need to create a bit more. I'm just going into the transparent red oxide and just building up tiny bit on the face and the neck, so that we have a little bit more of this shadowing. All right. So at this point, I could now start working on the eyes, but I would have to wait for it and do the finishing touches. So look, I can see maybe the eye needs a bit of help here. I could start using the smaller brush, and I think that's what we will do. So let's wait for this to dry. So for the eye, here I actually have used luminance pencils to finish off. For the eye today, I want to do watercolors. So I'm going to go into Naphthalmide Maroon, which would be the darkest in my palette, and that would be around here. and that would serve us as an interesting kind of eyeliner color. So that the brush, as you can see, is perfect for minute details. And I'm going to start with, just like you would do when you are doing your own makeup, so personally I like the eyeliner to be very crisp, and that's why I'm not blending anything else there. And then I'm going to load up my brush again. And build it up if I need to. And then connect the bottom to this. So remember, this brush doesn't hold much water, so it will dry out quite quickly and you'll get like a dry brush mark, so you need to be on top of that. I'm going to go back in to get some more pigment, and I will do the same here, but I always find it a little bit more challenging on this side, so I'll have to move things around. And I should have started on this side actually, but I learned to accept that I can never get both eyes to look the same, so I don't stress about it. But you know, it's fine. I guess it could be part of the character of the style, really. You can get away with so much more if you do whimsical. And then I'll draw the bottom line. This is the part where I usually hold my breath. I still want it to be kind of as good and as neat as it can be. And honestly, if I start putting my mind to it, I find it also super relaxing. So it's not bad. I'll bring it closer for you. There we go, Naphthalene Maroon. It kind of looks almost black. So I've done that. The actual eye, I like to have them grey, but it is totally up to you what colour you go for. Thinking buff titanium probably would be my best bet if I wanted to do that. And I have a little bit of buff titanium, still a bit of naphthalene maroon actually in my brush, so I'll try to wash that off. And just the tiniest amount of it. Try not to touch the naphthalene maroon that I just layered there, because that's going to give us a bit of mess. So tiny little bit. Then I'm going to go in and just blend the edges of this grey, and then build up a little bit more if I needed to. Okay, so that's that. Now let's see where I need to kind of correct things. So this earlobe, for instance, I'm just going to go back in, scribble on the watercolor that's already layered there, and just pull it out a bit more. And then make this earlobe slightly bigger as well. This one is a bit too big now, but we'll put an earring there, hopefully. That will conceal things a bit more. And what else? So I can, for instance, see that there are a few bits here which have not come together. So for instance, this line here is missing. So I'm just going to do the same thing, scribble the color around it and just bring it closer to the eyeliner. Same thing here, the color didn't travel far enough. So I'm just gonna pull it up and a little bit on the chin as well. So this is just kind of minor details that you might want to correct, and if you wanted to, this is the time to do this. There's a little white spot here, so again I'm just moving things around. Okay, so what I would do now is take my brush, go back into the Piemontite Genuine, which is around here, with a fair bit of water, and just layer fresh color over it. It's like it does something magical. Just a bit of glazing. You don't even need to be too precise about it. Remember the lines? I'm just gonna go enhance the line a bit more here, like that, and a bit more here. And I will keep it like that. I'm not going to soften the edges. I want them to stay there. Okay, so cheek kind of looks like it may need some more color. I'm going to go ahead and create a bit more of a cheek. And cheeks sometimes need a bit more attention, so I tend to go back and forth with them, but I think that's okay now. Alright, so I will have to move now onto the pencil just for the last few finishing touches, but again you can just use the darkest color in your palette with the super small brush and do it that way. But I have this love for finishing things off with a bit of a pencil, so I'm going to go sharpen my pencil and come back. So for the finishing touches, I tend to put the iris in, and I tend to put little nose drills in, a little beauty spot, and some earrings. My current favorite is just round kind of earrings, nothing elaborate. And then the signature neck. Little choker here, and that should be it. So at this point I'm going to dry things, make sure my pencil crumb's not going to travel into watercolor, and then we'll come back and see what else we could do. So I just realized we didn't put any eyebrows, and I was going to show you, if you find it quite challenging to draw eyebrows, you can use one of the eyebrows from the stamp set. There are 4 pairs here to choose from, and I have picked these ones here. And I'm going to show you what you can do. So if you put them on your acrylic block, and then use a light colored ink and go over the top of your finished work and see where you'd like to put the eyebrows and just stamp them ever so slightly. And as you can see them very lightly reflecting here, I'm just going to move the one from the hair. I'm going to take my black pencil and just mimic what I can see here, and that would be the easiest way of creating the eyebrow. So just kind of, you know, draw over the top of it basically, like that. So she's got a nice strong black brow. And then I was also going to do a bit of finishing touches on the eye. So I'm just going to outline the eye so that we don't have the pink of the ink looking out here anymore or showing through. And also I think I fancy darkening the eye color slightly more, and I'm going to blend it out, build it up just at the corners, and then use a lighter color to blend things. I'm going to use a pink white here. I find that it blends beautifully on blue or grey colors. And that is it. So you could go ahead over the top and build things up around her eyes with pencils as well. That would be very lovely. I'm going to leave it as it is. There's something which I still want to add. I don't know what exactly. Maybe just eyebrows. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give her some lovely eyebrows. Some nice spider eyebrows, and I think it's probably a bit better now. I feel like adding a bit of detail into her hair, but this is just me now going overboard with thinking about things to add which don't really need to be there. This was a video about the skin anyways, but you get me. You can build upon, you can create your own characters, and the most important thing is that I had so much fun playing around and creating the skin colors and things. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching and see you soon.